Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatsMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Friday's the day of the week. We turn to the BonBon buddies over on Patreon and say, hey guys, vote us in a map, and they've gone with this one. Now, it's a location you might recognise because we did this location pretty recently. In episode 951, we had a My First Map from Aaron 0000123, and this is the same location but from a creator we've done 5 times in the past, episodes 537, 605, 726, 744 and 858. So a creator with a little bit of pedigree. It is definitely a slightly more polished map than one we saw before, so something to look forward to there. And another thing to really look forward to is a very excitable young woman coming up round about now. That's right, being truly excitable is a great way of supporting the channel, as is hitting the like button. Thank you very much for your support. Today's map is Chattanooga by Windows 95. Windows 95, formerly Deus Ex Machina. Thumbnail taken at night with a power cut. Thank you very much for that one. There's your starter square, definitely usable. Not too much to say about that. It's got a river running through it. You probably noticed. Terrain heights taken from the true topography of the area, which means it's going to be a fairly realistic feeling build. And then your resources look pretty strong and true as well. Oh, you've seen stronger and truer, but they are definitely usable, so let's not complain. If you have Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, this is what the fishing will look like down your rivers and in your lakes. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, no DLC required today. That is good news. We will need network extensions too. The Leafy Tree by Pidelmo, the Unlimited Trees mod, and the Surface Rock Pack. We'll be using Owl's Alternative Mediterranean theme today. Now, that is not listed as a requirement. Really does kind of need to be. Otherwise, if you don't have it, this will be a vanilla looking map, and it won't look anywhere near as good, because Owl's alternative themes, in fact anything by Owl, is good work. So yes, that's something that probably could be doing with being on the requirements list. Today's LUT won't surprise you, it's the realistic 1.2 because nothing else is recommended. Okay, now first point of order, I've noticed that the roads here are at slightly different elevations from each other, which could give a little bit of blue mantle between the two if you get unlucky, and of course you can get a bit of stress on the highway texture, which we've got there as well. So it's easily fixed and may not bother some of you. It bothers me enough, actually. I'm not keen. If you want elevation changes, great, but you've got to make them work, and the stress between them there, that doesn't work, I'm afraid. Not for me anyway. Okay, heading down now into the plateau, because plateau. So yes, Tennessee. We are. Where are we? Eastern side of America. That's where we are. I'm trying to visualize where we are here. Yeah, eastern side. We've got the lovely river running through that leads down to the Ohio River, if I remember rightly from the last time I did some research on Chattanooga and Tennessee. Of course, Chattanooga, the title of, is it Chattanooga Choo Choo? But it goes back some time. What a great song that was. Not the Chattanooga Pikachu, kids, not that one. Speaking of choo-choos, a lovely little rail line going through there. Now, the highways and the intersections are based loosely on the real ones. I mean, they are close enough, and in fact, the whole highway layout is close enough for you to be able to do a close enough build of Chattanooga. It was not going to be an accurate one-to-one build, but these highways are very much roughly what you'd expect in roughly the right directions. Like coming up here, we have a trumpet intersection, and the real life intersection here is a trumpet intersection. Doesn't look exactly like this, but it's the same sort of vibe, so I think credit has to be awarded for that. Is also the Star Square intersection, which means somewhere around here will be some assets. And today's assets, it's an asset pack here. Pack number 1 It's a Davison Street Flats pack by Charlie Zane. Now, I've not seen Charlie Zane's work before. They certainly are better than I am at creating assets, although I don't feel they're quite of the highest finesse of some of the top creators. I'm going to show you what I mean here. So it looks like there's a garage underneath here. You can see there's a bit of a gap in the wall there. And if you get down to a low enough angle, you can see that the garage actually is a little bit flawed. Let's get down to ground level, shall we? Around here, there you go. You can see right the way through the building. And once you get inside of an asset, yes, of course the walls aren't rendered from the inside. Why would they be? All that said, you've got to get down really low and really close to be able to spot that one. And from most distances, this little pack of assets is going to look perfectly fine in most people's cities. Anyway, factoids because factoids running out of time. Albert Einstein was once offered the presidency of Israel. He refused, saying that he had no head for problems. He wasn't just intelligent, but he had wit as well. Yes, that's not an easy task being the leader of any country, but there are some countries slightly more problematic. Anyway, back to Davison's Street Flats pack, number 1 by Charlie Zane. Today's assets pack of the day. Good work, Charlie Zane, and just keep it up. Keep it up. Certainly better than anything that I've ever produced. Okay, got this was the Memorial Bridge, I do believe, from memory. I could be wrong on that one. And then we've got a little bit more stress on the highways here. And just pull one side just to show you the height differences. Just need to level the roads for the highway to come through. Perfectly smoothen them out, and it'll be perfect. It'll be lovely, I tell you. Little elevated section. Say this is all very nice work. Elevated down to ground level, and then through here we have a little elevated section again. There is excellent work going on here. But then you just get the little bits that are just slightly out of terrain alignment, and just draw away. And oh, hang on, what to say about Blue Mantle? We found some. So yeah, that's the biggest sin of them all, and that's going to bring the detailing score down 3/4 of a notch on its own. You never want to see Blue Mantle. Maybe a little bit of hidden Blue Mantle under a bridge, possibly, that hardly noticed, but actually on the highways, ooh, ow. Anyway, the rail for the Chattanooga Choo Choo. If you notice, you say this isn't a dedicated asset. This is just the vanilla rail using the owl's texture from the theme. So don't worry, we haven't got any specifically exciting assets here that you haven't been told about. This is just what they look like with the theme. Having a good theme can be the difference between having an ordinary looking map and an outstanding looking map. Now, possibly you might argue that this particular theme from Owl is looking a little bit dated. You could argue that. I would say shut up. I would say absolutely shut up. It's still as good as many of the other themes out there. So just take it and put it somewhere, okay? Right, coming down into the where would be the city of Chattanooga, we have I think it's the tannery or something. Anyway, there's some quite extensive sidings in this location. Again, all based on real life. We have got some catenary chaos going on here, though. It's not very pretty. That's not very pretty. But yes, there are some real life sidings there, but which we've just alluded to there. There are actually quite extensive ones, so probably you could probably double that and it'd be closer to a real life. The whole map doesn't have to be an exact replica of real life. It just has to be visually appealing, has to be playable, and if you're looking to do a rough recreation of Chattanooga, well, it's in place for that as well, so we can't really complain too much there either. Well, we'll be taking an intermission shortly. When we come back, we'll check out for shipping. Do you reckon there'll be shipping on this map? Do you think? I've not seen any yet. And then we'll check out all the other bits and bobs as always. Following the light, the rail's been done quite well. We haven't really got any major elevation changes. It's been done very cleanly indeed. I think sometimes these little things can be just overlooked and just swept under the carpet. But this is genuinely a very neat little bit of rail. Congratulations for that, Windows, or Deus, or whatever your real name is. Intermission time. Are you a fan of the show? Well, I guess if you're watching this, you really must be. And as you've made it through 1000 reviews, it's time to really treat yourself. To emblazon yourself with all 1000 thumbnails in one great garment. From the makers of WhatMap, it's the official WhatMap 1000 t-shirt. Get yours now. And so back to the shipping routes, and as you can see, we have no shipping routes in Chattanooga by Windows 95. We have a couple of air routes, but yeah, no shipping route, I would say, is a correct choice, so credit for that one. Okay, what about water flow? Well, I believe I'm following the river in the right direction, coming down from Knoxworth, I think it was called. So we are heading downstream here correctly, past the city centre here, and then it loops around over there and it loops out over here. Now you notice we're now going upstream, which means we have got a null zone. So it's edge of map water flow only, so not a correctly flowing river. Let's have a little look around for where that null zone is. Hopefully not too close to the start square. Looks like about there, which is just slightly off, roughly around the main intersection area of the map. Now let's head down here. We've got a little bit of a water flow issue here. Issue here. This should be filled. I've had a look at Google, and this is a proper river with a proper, just speeding the game up to see whether that fills up, and it doesn't. Let you know that just basically it occasionally touches up, you know, nestles up with itself there, and then nope, I'm not going to stay, and then it just empties out again. So yes, unfortunately there could be a little bit more fill in this is start square area as well. So it's not ideal. It's not ideal. We'd like to see a little bit more water in there. What else have we got going on with this map? Oh, water up here. Now, just look at the hill. Look at the hill. This is real. This is, I believe, for electricity, you know, where they pump the water up from the river, store it up here, and then just let it out. So it's effectively a hydro dam, but without there actually being a dam there. So maybe get some power, you know, your power sources from up on that hill would be a pretty good location, I feel. What more have we got? Loving the shapes of the hills here. Do love this part of the world for the shapes of the hills, and the tree mix looks really good as well. There's a very simple tree mix, vanilla and just a leafy tree set, and yeah, I do feel the combination works very nicely as well. And just the texture on the hills as well, just feel the whole thing really works very nicely. Lots of build space in the middle of the map, cannot complain about that. That works very nicely. And in terms of lakes, the lakes are all correct, except for I'd like to see a little bit more fill on this one. There is a lake there, but it isn't a quarry lake from what I can tell. It does appear to be filled, certainly thanks to Google, as good old Google will show you. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the map. What do you think? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button in the top right hand corner of your screen now. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. Okay, what do I think? My votes. I would say, aesthetically, I think it's pretty solid. I was erring with maybe low 4, maybe, but yeah, without the correct theme, this is not a low 4 map. I'm gonna go in the middle on this one. I'm gonna give this one a middle 3. It might be a bit lower. It's a bit lower if you don't have the Owls theme, and it's a bit higher if you do. But I think it's a 3-star map. Detailing, again, detailing across the whole seems adequate, but we just got a few little niggles here and there. Are those niggles enough to bring it down to 2 stars? I would say almost. I'm going to go very low 3 stars. Gameplay potential, I'm going to go medium high 3 on this one. I think you could do a decent recreation of Chattanooga on this map actually. Just needs a bit of tweaking here and there, and that just draws away from the gameplay. But yes, Chattanooga by Windows 95, I would say this is a pretty solid map. Just again needs a little bit of tweaking with the detailing. Anyway, so that is it from me for today. Thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing. To all of the BonBon buddies over on Patreon, especially those that voted in this map, I am very thankful. And if you are still here, I'm thankful for you too, because you are part of the 20 and out elite. Those of us still in the 20 last seconds of the show, just use the words there, Glenn Miller. He wrote Chattanooga Choo Choo, don't you know? There's a bit of a help for you. And I'll see you tomorrow for another What Map. Thanks for watching.